Welcome to this second of my Christmas tutorials. This is for Phil Wickham's arrangement of Joy to the World, or Joyful Joyful, on the last refrain. It's in the key of D flat or C sharp, and it's at 148 beats a minute. I'd suggest you set your tempo that high because when we use some of the arpeggiators, we'll need to use that to get full use of them. Let's listen to the intro of the song.
1, 2, vamp, 2, 3, 4. Intro. Verse 1.
You can hear there's a lot going on in the intro. It starts out with that piano run. That scale can be done as an arpeggiator, and I'm going to put it down here on this key, and I'll show you how to do that in Ableton using Omnisphere. And the reason I'm doing it that way is I want to be able to play that descending line with the bells and the synths. There's more than one instrument doing that. And there's also a Glockenspiel and a synth bass and an organ that comes in. Here it is. So we add everything together. Verse 1. Here's the Ableton setup. Let's start with the piano, which is on the first part. Here it's linked to this D flat or C sharp, and it's pitched up 12. And if we look at Omnisphere, we're using the wing upright piano. You can use any upright piano. And here's the arpeggiator. Notice it goes up the scale and down. 0 would be that D flat, 4 would be the F, so it's D flat, F, G flat, A flat, D flat an octave above, down to the A flat, the G flat, and the F. So up and down the scale, and it's looped. It's 8 notes because we have it at that high beats per minute, 148. So notice down here is that Glockenspiel. In Ableton, it's called a Glockenspiel, and it goes back and forth between this low D flat and this G flat, and they're pitched up 36. This one's pitched up 31, and we use the same arpeggiator to make it up and down the scale, so that 0, 4, 5, 7, 12, 7, 5, 4, etc. Here's an organ. As sort of a low pipe organ, again going back between the D flat and the G flat, and it's pitched up, and then we dropped it back down to get some low notes. Minus 24, 4, 7, 12, 19. This one is 12, and 24, 4, or minus 24, 4, 7, 12, 19. This is that synthesizer that comes in Omnisphere, and let me show you that. Here's the arpeggiator for that synthesizer that comes in late on that beat. This one is set up as 16 notes instead of 8 notes because it comes just before the beat. We've got 16 across the bottom here, and it goes from 11 to 12, and this is just sustained out. You do that by clicking this one, then holding Shift and your cursor to move it over. So moving on, we have down here these a synth bass, again going back and forth between the D flat and the G flat. Here's that bell pattern coming down the scale. This going between the C sharp 3 and the G sharp 3. Here's the bell on top of it. Notice that it's pitched up 12. So on verse 1, it starts out with just that piano scale. Joy to the world, the Lord is come. And then the organ comes in. Let earth receive her King. Just piano. Let every heart prepare him room. Up to the minor chord. And heaven and nature sing. And heaven and nature sing right into the chorus. And here's the Ableton settings for those organ chords. Here we have a range from the G flat or F sharp up to the A flat, and it's pitched down 12, and then 28, 31, and then here for the minor chord on the A sharp or B flat, minus 12, 27, 31. The chorus is set up just like the intro with all those different instruments, and the Ableton settings are the same, but there's a new synthesizer pattern in. Let's listen to it. It's on the keys 1 track. So that syncopated synthesizer, I've set down here on these low notes, and I'll show you the Ableton settings, but this is how it sounds on my keyboard. In Ableton, we're again putting those syncopated patterns down on those low notes, and here they are. We're actually using them to play 2 different patterns. This is both on that low D flat and then going up to the G flat, and again we're like 36 and 31, 31, 31. Excuse me, 2 36s and 2 31s. And let's look at how we set up the arpeggiator. Notice that we've used the full 32 beats here. These are 8 notes, and they're on offbeats. So it starts on the offbeat, doesn't start until the second measure, and they're bop, 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 lower 2 note, bop, 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 bop. And then here's that second line. In the third line, again 7, 5, and the last note drops down to the F. And sort of, if they were all played together, it'd be. Putting those 2 parts together, we will sing, sing, sing. We will sing, sing, sing. Joy to the world. We will sing, sing, sing. And then to verse 2. Verse 2 has some additional rhythmic patterns. The piano does a sort of a nice syncopated lick that I'm going to put in the arpeggiator, but if you're playing just the piano part, it's kind of interesting. And then that repeats over and over. And then there's a synthesizer walk-up. So let me try to play all those parts, and then I'll show you the Ableton settings. and then into the chorus. So in Ableton, we're going to have two instances of our upright piano, again playing those two arpeggiator patterns, and they're set down here on this D flat. You can see it here, and each of these are pitched up 12. One goes to the second one, this one goes to the third one. Then there are some other piano chords. Here's the D flat, 12, 16, 19, 24. Just a double piano. You can use one piano. This is the G flat, A flat, 12, 16, 19. And then the B flat minor chord, 12, 15. And then the organ chords, again the D flat, up 24, then 7. This is the range that G flat to A flat, minus 12, 28, 31. And then the B flat minor, minus 12, 27, 31. Here's that range for those bell parts. Notice that they're much longer. They're B flat 2 up to A flat 2. Here's the bell. And then that synthetic bass is moved down here to D flat to B flat, and it's pitched down 12. So the chorus following verse 2 is the same Ableton settings, with one exception, that piano arpeggio has a raised octave, and so you just put a chord function, you know, with a plus 12 in front of it, so you get that. You can hear it up there. So everything all together is just as before. And then that repeats. Verse 3 uses the same Ableton settings as the chorus, with the exception that the octave piano is taken away, the bass is taken away, and the synthesizer part up high plays some chords that matches the melody. So the bottom part is the same, joy to the world. And so we've got these minor chords up here. And into another chorus. Chorus 3 is like chorus 2 for the keyboard parts, but if you want to, as an added bonus, you can add in some strings which have like competing call and response echoes. They have and that lower part has an answering harmony that starts about 3 ways in. And you can use the Arpeggiator function in Omnisphere to play those competing melodies, and I'll show you how that's done. Here's that counter melody with those string scales put on this D flat here. Answer. Harmony. And then all together with both hands. So remember those 3 string patterns were linked to this D flat, and they're down here. The first one is 24, the second one is pitched up 12, the third one is pitched up 12. And remember, that's so they can sound here. For that harmony part. Let's look at Omnisphere. Here's the first string pattern, that descending scale. Again, we pitched it up 2 octaves, and then we go 7 half steps above that so we can start on that A flat. 7, 5, 4, 2, 0, and then again. And then the answering, notice that it starts later. And this is the one that's only pitched up 12, so it's going to start here. Same pattern. And then the harmony pattern starts the 3rd time through, sort of like a round. 0, 2, minus 5, minus 3, minus 8, and then onward. The first bridge just has some sustained chords beneath the choir and the main vocal. Joyful, joyful, we adore thee, God of glory, God of love. Hearts unfold like flowers before thee. Da, 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 da. And into the second half of the bridge. So here's Ableton for those sustained chords. We've got just ordinary pianos now, no arpeggios. So here's our D flat, 12, 16, 19, 24. Here's our G flat, 12, 16, 19, 24. Here's the organ chords. These are played in a range with our right hand, playing a set first inversion of a D flat chord, F2 to C sharp 3 or D flat. And here's some low bass notes. And this is just to give us a sustained synth. It's pitched up 24. So bridge 2 in the ending has everything in it but the kitchen sink. We've got that piano arpeggios, the answering round with the strings. Down here, we've got orchestra chords. And in this hand, we've got string chords and piano chords. So bridge 1 starts on the 6 minor or the B flat minor chord. 1/3, 4, 1, 1, 2 minor, 6, 5, and then just the 1. Here are the Ableton settings for the bridge 2 and the ending. We've got our piano arpeggio, which was before, again with the double octaves, and it's duplicated with the Glockenspiel. This is just a sustained high D flat synth sound. Then we've got our piano chords walking up the scale D flat. So we've got 12, 16, 19, 24, E flat minor, 12, 15, 19, 24, D flat over F or 1/3, 12, 15, 20. Here's the G flat and the A flat chord, just regular major chords, 12, 16, 19. Our B flat minor, 12 and 15. Here's a series of instruments that are just letting us play the chords in our right hand from D flat up to D flat. And we've got the pianos, the pipe organ, and the slow strings. Here's a synthetic bass that's pitched down, going from D flat to B flat. And here's those strings that were echoing with the canon that we heard on the chorus, and they're exactly the same using those Omnisphere arpeggiators. And there you have it. This is Joy to the World, Joyful, Joyful by Phil Wickham. There's a lot of parts, a lot of things going on, but when it all falls together, it's really a great song. If you found this helpful in learning the song for your church or for your own use, please give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button to get the next tutorial. Thank you very much for watching.